Hello guys, and welcome back to Power and Revolution 2020 edition with our Israeli playthrough. In the last episode, we were starting to tackle a lot of the issues that came with taking over Syria. Most of it came down to just letting time pass and waiting for the new year, which we have arrived to. And now it's time to take a little bit more of a hands-on approach. I was already taking a hands-on approach, but other problems are propping up, like budgetary issues, etc., etc. My biggest concern is just fixing the unemployment sooner rather than later. I'm going to work on these simultaneously. Now, some of this does require spending money. We have integrated countries, which means all these little stars under work has changed again. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the help for employing young people. That should help us fix unemployment a little more. I want to get the seniors as well up to max again. I think it's been at max before. And even the employment agencies, because that might also help. But I'm only going to do this one step at a time. In the last episode, I also started getting rid of the family allowances to help keep population a little more under control and just to save money in general. I'm looking at ways to save money that reduces certain welfare things that exist in the country. But unfortunately, I'm also going to have to spend money while doing it. Now, one thing to do is I'm going to deconstruct another air base in Syria, because again, we still just don't need all of these. And this one is a little close to a bunch of other bases. So I'm going to get rid of this. Let's dismantle it. All right, that's good. I can't stop what I'm doing here with my energy. I've been definitely slowing down. I didn't make any in the past half a year in game. So I'm going to place another offshore wind plant here because we need to make sure we're getting rid of fossil fuels. They're expensive. They have effects on the economy that I don't necessarily like. All right, how is this? Is this good? No, this is where we start getting towards average. Okay. Well, we're going to have to start being a little more careful on where we put things now. So where does average start and where does good start? All right, well, this is still average. This is good. So right around here is where good starts. Yes. All right. So I'm going to build another one right there. And this should be on good. Oh, it doesn't tell me yet. It does look like these are both on good. Their production capacity is right. Our oil wells are going to finish in 12 days. That's proof how much progress we made just in the last episode alone. Well, apparently our production cap has gone up without me doing much of anything. I don't know how the hell this happened, but we have dismantled from 290 down to 240 fossil energy recently, which has been a nice little effect. Weird, my fossil production has only gone down by like 2, I swear. Only by 2, not actually a lot. Well, that's interesting. We do have enough of a surplus here to afford to dismantle more fossil energy. Really, I don't know what's happening with our electricity. It's gone up over 20, and I don't think I've finished constructing that many things. Let's see, there's another 8 terawatts gotten rid of here. Get rid of 40 more fossil energy, 169 million over 5 years. That should be fine. I don't think that has an immediate effect on my energy screen. No, but there's another 40 going down the tubes. We're only losing 8, which would supposedly put us to 136 if this number is accurate, meaning I could potentially get rid of more. I mean, if this is actually true, then technically I should be able to get rid of all my remaining fossil energy. If this stuff here is true. So I'm getting all kinds of popularity boosts and things from all my spending and everything that I'm doing. I'm getting my yearly forecasts, employment getting better, growth rate projected downwards now. It's going to get better. We're about to finish 5 oil things and I'm building more stuff. You're going to see that improve very, very soon. And budget deficit is at 0.55%, which is actually not that bad. Inflation's at a good point. I definitely want to tackle unemployment with excess today. One of the biggest drains in this game on your budget is the minimum retirement pension. It is also something that you cannot change very easily because of your people. They'll go nuts if you try to. This value's actually gone down since I last looked at it, and I know why. It's because my exchange rate compared to the dollar, which is the currency we are looking at, is going down since I lowered my interest rate. It's going down a noticeable amount, even compared to the euro as well. Seems to be softening up here how much is going down, but that's definitely played a part in the number we're looking at. So the number we're looking at is not actually set in stone here. It's going to change as the value of our currency changes, but I definitely want to lower it a little. You can't lower this a whole lot without your people essentially rioting because of it. you lower it by $1, that's usually considered too much. With our devaluing currency though, I'm going to lower it by like $2, which you see is enough to save $140 million all by itself. So I'm going to feel out how much of this I can get away with. I'm going to lower it down just about $1 or $2, not even $2 full, see how my people react to it, because I can save a lot of money if I start cutting that. And quite frankly, I hate this. I wish I could get rid of this. Do remember that this exists only because an American president thought that it would be a good thing to do when the people of the country lived to only see their 60s, their maybe the age of 70 at tops. You were supposed to have that for 5 years. Now you can have it for 30, 40 years. Let's see, we got a partial dismantlement. Some of the stuff I had up here actually just went away. Terrorist threat, Egyptian troop movements. They're never going to shut up telling me about that. Was that it right there? Social old folks. That was a very, very tiny hit. Another thing we can also do is come over here to work and establish the duration of allowance for the job seekers. Right now, for 15 months of job seeking, we are paying 10.65% of the previous salary. Why this? I don't know. This is how it started. This is a really weird amount. I think 15 months is a retarded amount of time. I'm going to lower it by 1 month for now. It'll save another $50 million. I'm going to keep lowering it, I think, if I need to get it closer to a year. But even then, that's so much time. But I'll stop around a year and focus on health instead. This is also just another way to test what I can and cannot get away with. I would prefer to lower welfare type spending and instead lower taxes as well, despite me doing apparently a bunch of left-wing actions in this game. I do prefer the whole less government approach where you get less spending, you get less taxes, and then you just have more money up front as an average person. Maybe more taxes on the richer or the corporations in real life, and I tend to carry that over into this game as well. It's a very moderate position, but it's one I like to act out in this game. So looks like our information here has updated now. We're down to 138, so we can definitely keep dismantling this fossil energy here. So I'm going to dismantle another 50, which is another 10 terawatt hours, and that will leave us with 150 once it's done. This is going to rapidly lower our carbon emissions. Now, do note, most of our carbon emissions probably aren't coming from this. Most of our carbon emissions are probably coming from the rest of our industry in general. Cars, as car transport is increasing. How is our cars per capita? Still slightly going up. This is weird. This is a statistic that doesn't seem to increase based on you taking over a country. There's no, like, integration calculation there, I don't think. But the rest of this does, like superhighways, railroads, roads in general. I think a lot of this stuff updates as well. Well, this right here, this is a superhighway, technically. So yeah, of course that would update. So we have a UN climate report. The planet is in great danger. The objectives have not been reached at all. There are too many underachievers. We must now work okay, yeah. Well, see, I'm Israel. My carbon emissions, even after taking over a bunch of countries, is so insignificant. I'm under the world average, and even then I'm a minuscule amount of carbon emissions. In fact, if we look at the proper statistics here, we can see who's the biggest offenders. Our offending has definitely gone up as we've taken over more and more offending countries. Let's see. So we are number 42 now. We definitely weren't that high at the start, but we're number 42 now. We can definitely work on it, and we should work on it. But we're nowhere compared to China and the United States. Let me look at the comparison here. We were at 64, so you can see the difference. They were about 165. They are now at 101.54, so their emissions have gone up. And the US emissions have seemingly gone up as well. Well, it looks like most countries have gone up, especially up at the top. There's not much I can really do to stop other countries. So I don't know why I get the alert for it. It's not my fault. The law on the maximum school age has taken into effect, so you now must complete high school. Get fucked, kids. But not literally, because that wouldn't be good. One way we could fight global warming, technically, is just to take over more and more countries and fix their carbon emission situations. Now, this is not something we're going to need, and this does not go in line with lowering carbon emissions at all, technically. Or at least environmentalism stuff. But our popularity is so good right now, I'm just going to go ahead and authorize tests and exploration of non-conventional gas and oil. Doesn't mean I'm going to do it. Technically, I have no reason to do it, but personally, I see nothing wrong with it, and who knows what could go wrong in this playthrough. Maybe it's good to start moving down that line just in case we run into some kind of economic situation where we might need things like shale oil and gas. Probably not. We've just researched the construction of a space probe. I will, of course, not patent that. Don't think it matters very much, though, because we are still waiting on completing our Israel into space to get medium rockets so we can actually do anything. It's like space probe. What would this even be used for? I don't know. Telescope? We haven't done a telescope. Satellite construction, medium to heavy rocket, happy face. Wait, but I haven't done that yet. I guess I am doing it. Well, I guess if I schedule this after the medium and heavy rocket's done, I guess that does mean that I could technically get away with putting a space telescope up there. Okay, so this launches this year in just a few months. I don't think this other program could even start in that time, so let's go ahead and do it. Space telescope. Israel peaks. Get it? Because we're peeking through the space telescope? Yeah. Okay, anyway, so let's do a total budget of about $320 million. Our exchange rate is not going up, so usually I put this under the amount knowing that the amount spent is going to go up, but technically right now the amount spent is going to go down. I'll put it around 320. We'll see what we can do with it. I doubt anyone will want to help us with this, but we can still see. So let's create this and see if anyone wants to take part. Our minimum retirement pension has gone through with minimal negative effects on our popularity, so that's actually really good. So let's go back to it here. Okay, it's down to 397.3. This is probably also just because the value of our currency is changing so rapidly. I don't even know if this ended up accomplishing. But 390 may be another good point. Now, this is a little riskier, as you see. Bigger sad face, but with the way our currency is devaluing anyway, this might just be more productive to getting things done. And also, it saves a lot more money. So I'm going to try this and see what the negative consequences are. I have many methods for boosting up my popularity should something go wrong. I have many things I want to spend on, many things I need to do. I also need to open up the border as well. Alright, so we got a pretty decent hit from old folks and social yada yada. That's fine by me. That just means I can go ahead here and increase help for employing seniors up to max. And I'm actually going to be spending only half of what I'm saving by lowering the pension. You seniors get to work. There's no rest until the grave. Because this will also help our unemployment. Well, actually, technically, if you encourage seniors to get to work, then that would technically increase your unemployment rate because you'd have more looking for jobs. But we got a pretty nice boost there for old folks and employment. That's good. I want to get this unemployment down, and one of the best ways to get it down, other than just waiting for growth to kick in, is to increase spending on the employment agency. Okay, so the United States has covered the AIDS vaccine, so that's good for them. We got the law on the duration of unemployment payments has just gone through. That should save us some money. We may also be increasing poverty, but that's something we'll deal with later. Our growth was just at 2.22% or something. It spiked up to about 3% out of nowhere, and I'll tell you what that nowhere is. All of our oil wells have finished, so I gotta keep pretty good eye on my growth right now. It may be affected by my spending as well into the work tab and other things, but we don't know that yet. We got to keep an eye on this because it may still continue to go up with our oil wells going. The actual tonnage really isn't that great, but apparently we're just nerfed for whatever reason in that regard. I don't know why. Maybe it's a 2020 thing. Maybe it's just an Israel thing, a smaller country thing. I'm not sure. Alright, so we have the ability to try to dismantle another patriotic front. I just tried to infiltrate another patriotic front. We also infiltrated Total Jihad only a week or so ago, a week and a half. Looks like it was Total Jihad that did the As-Safira attack, I'm going to assume. Speaking of, I never got an alert about that terrorist attack after it went away. Is it just chilling out here waiting to be paid off? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. We're not even here. Did that just not cause any damage? I don't know. Let's go to family. We can once again try to lower our family allowances, so let's go ahead and get rid of it for 2 children. That'll save us a little bit more money. Speaking of money, I will also come over here into the employment area. I will increase by 1 star the employment agency, which does cost a good amount of money, but maybe not as much as I'm giving it credit for, compared to how much money used to mean to us before absorbing Syria. In fact, let me just put another star in. Let's get 2 stars in there. Then let me also go to the, where is it? Allowance for job seekers. Let's lower that by another month, save some more money, and then 1 more month after that probably. We are taking some popularity hits here, but it's all within reason of projection. I believe with this, I can actually finally give myself an excuse to go ahead to immigration and finally authorize exits from the territory so I can show you guys exactly how this goes. So our migration flow has gone back down to lower than it was. And I believe that's just me getting rid of rights and things like that, the people not being happy. But I do want to see what happens when I reallow the exits from the territory and see how it goes. The law on non-conventional gas and oil has gone through. The ecologists are very upsetty. This is just scripted to pop up whenever you do this. Why would you authorize the tests if you're not going to validate them later and hide the truth? Shut up, you slut. I'm currently getting rid of all fossil energy in my, energy sector. You should love me. Stop complaining. Don't be a bitch. Speaking of fossil energy, it has adjusted again. I can see we're doing just fine, so I'm going to go ahead. Ugh. Look at that. See that? 14.8% boost. That's fucking crazy. Just for opening the border. Gonna dismantle another 50 of this fossil energy. We're currently dismantling 140. If this doesn't help my carbon emissions, man, I don't know what will. Something else I've been doing has been helping, apparently. And the National League for Industry on the same line with me. Okay. So the Industry League is happy that I'm doing what I'm doing, even though I've banned the Industry League and every other union. So I don't know why they're even talking to me. So the minimum retirement pension has updated. It does seem to be doing pretty well. I'm going to lower it by another almost 10 down to 380, save myself even more money. Stop spending on these old folks. What did we get? Landing on a celestial body. Well, that will definitely help. Got a lot of things going on. Relaunch from a celestial body achieved. That's good. You gotta have that. Partial dismantlement of one of the patriotic fronts. Let's check. Yep. Partial dismantlement. We'll go ahead and infiltrate them again. This is taking a while. Of course, we have lost some budget here. I did get my agents on the national territory up to 7,000. Let's get the fight against terrorism up to max again, because that's the thing that determines how effective those dismantlements are. Our national agents are above the world average now, on par with Italy. That's actually pretty good. China has just way more than we do. We may want to take note and keep increasing the agents on the national territory for a while. You know what? Let me up it by another 1,000, because this is invaluable to get these terrorists off of our fucking land. And then let's go to work, and I'm going to spend another star. It's getting more and more expensive. Unemployment agency. Let's take a look. We have 2.72% growth. Okay, so not spiking up anymore, so we've seen the effects of it then. And unemployment is holding kind of steady at the moment. Kind of steady at the moment. Our budget is still in a deficit, but we are working on it. We are getting it done. I think I might try to find somewhere to put some more oil or gas now. I want to avoid Syria, quite frankly. I don't want to put things down while we have all these terrorists over here. Which may be smart, maybe not. But let's see about oil wells. No, god damn it, I'm on the dismantlement screen. That is not the first time I've done that. I did that literally 2 episodes ago. Okay, well, whatever. So, let's start trying to get some oil wells in Israel, the actual province of Israel. So, there is very good. We're also going to... Oh yeah, I forgot it. It does this weird laggy thing while I'm placing this. Sometimes it'll just freeze up, but then it'll come back like a second later. Okay, it's back. Let's get... Is there more room over here? Oh, wow, there isn't. There is not. Alright, so this is still very good here. Let's place that. Let's... Is it going to freeze every fucking time that I do one of these? Oh, man. Alright, I'm just going to do these off camera. Okay, so they're all placed. These 3 are on very good. These 2 are on average. That was the best I could do. This is the one I accidentally dismantled. Pisses me off. Oh well, I can't cancel it, unfortunately. So I just placed another to build here so we can maintain our maximum of 5 in Lebanon while also getting 5 in Israel. I've also gone ahead and placed 2 into the West Bank because the West Bank has enough average locations to fit 2 of them. Sadly, I can't fill it up with the 5 that I want, and it doesn't have any gas. I don't think I'm even going to try for the Gaza Strip because it's just all kinds of fucked up. I do love this solar plant still being here, though. I love how that's just in a city. Maybe I should have kept the wind plant over here because it was clearly cheated out of bounds, but I guess I could just leave it the way it is. So the leader of Bahrain would like to meet with me. I will accept. I'm sure it's for a little trade agreement. Now that we're building so much oil, I feel like we may even want to get like an oil terminal or even a trade port. I don't know. Those could be pretty expensive. They could also boost things like shipping. How much does this cost? Ooh, almost $6 billion over 5 years. 3.3 billion over 5 years. Well, we don't need it yet, but that can certainly help to stoke the economy and our growth. Once we place down all the oil that we want to and we explore other options for keeping growth boosted, which I'm fine with it not being boosted right now. It actually gives me the freedom to do things that I've been wanting to do for so much of this playthrough. The new law on family allowances, oh god, so many things are happening, just went through, so I'm happy with that. We have researched heavy space rockets. That's pretty important for us starting to go into space. I guess we're just unlocking space now. That's really cool. Alright, return to Earth also achieved. Return to Earth intact. Okay, that's good. Kyrgyzstan wants a meeting as well, so we will give them a meeting. Let's take a look at the space program. So let's take a look at the one we're funding. Israel peaks. So no, alright, people are just wanting me to pay them. So that shows what they think about our capability here. So let's change this now. Let's go. I'm going to fund all of it. Thank you. And let's see about what would work as a better date for this. So 12/24 works. 12/20 works. Okay, so this whole month works. Put it on the 10th of the 12th of 2027, our first ever space telescope, and confirm that and approve the program. Awesome. Let's take a look while we're here. I'm curious. Earth, super heavy rockets. So we need to finish the space program, medium to heavy rockets, in order to do this. So technically I could start it now. It would take long enough. Or I could wait until that finishes. But again, we are going to finish that way before we could ever finish this. So let's just go ahead and name the program Israel Super Saiyan. Yeah. Oh wow, this is a pretty expensive project. Alright, well, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm gonna make it 7.5 billion for this one. This is a pretty expensive project. However, you know what? I forgot my money's going down. Let me put that at 8 billion. This is required for a lot of other space programs, so we want to get these rocket ones done as soon as possible if we hope to do this kind of thing. Hopefully, we get to accomplish a lot without the game just completely breaking bug-wise and stopping us from playing any further, like my first 2 playthroughs had happened to them. Fingers crossed on the 2020 edition compared to the 2019 edition. Let's go ahead and create this and see if anyone wants to join for that. At least delay our payment into it. I don't know if it's an immediate payment or what. Alright, so we are receiving even more electricity. I don't know how and I don't know where from. I know occasionally an offshore wind finishes, but it shouldn't be producing the amount that we see that we have. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. I'm going to set another 50 of these to dismantle over the next 4 months. And we have only one more set of 50 after this. I'm just keeping an eye on all this as it goes through. I'm expecting this to just like plummet at some point. You see, I have kept things like geothermal and hydroelectricity that we've kept because these are also pretty much expense-free and they don't stimulate the economy too much. They don't require a certain resource to use. So I don't mind keeping those when I get them from other countries. One of our guys infiltrating Total Jihad was murdered. I feel like he was actually trying to dismantle. I'm not sure, though. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues. When did we infiltrate you? 2/10, so February 10th. So very recently, so I don't want to do anything there yet. Minimum retirement pension went down. A little bit of a popularity hit. We have our meeting with the leader of Bahrain. I'm sure he wants to trade. They don't want to do anything else. He'd like to purchase cereals from me. Huh. I feel like someone tried to sell me cereals earlier. I'm not sure. But my sales price is much lower than his purchase price. So let's see what we can figure out. Technically, by the way, you can just purchase one load of a good from one country and then sell to another at very different prices. If you want to min-max the market, you could do that. I'm not going to do that. But we'll figure out what we can do here. This could potentially boost, actually, our economy as well, depending on the overall volume, which doesn't seem to be a crazy amount. We consume way more than we produce, so, I mean, this is kind of silly, but it could boost our production of cereals. But I'm only going to do this if he's going to give me a damn good price on it. So let's send this over. Oh. Okay. He accepted just under his own purchase price, so I guess he was really desperate for that. We have a little bit of an alliance with you, right? Yeah, we do. Let's see if we can finish this up. All right, nice. Bahrain. You want to give me a military base too? You do. Oh, you're so generous. A second one? You spoil me. A third one? No. Okay, that's where we call it. Well, Bahrain. Who's Bahrain again? It's you. It's this little island. Dude, you can't even fit 3 military bases onto here. But yeah, sure. I will do that. I don't plan on invading this ever, so long as the United States is a country, or so long as they have a base there. So, alright, so the duration of unemployment payments has now finally gone through. So now I can go to work. I can go here, and I can get it down to 12 months, which is where I'm going to leave it. Simultaneously, I'm going to put one more star into employment agency. The unemployment rate has gone down a little bit. Our growth rate has just gone back up. It's been fluctuating a little bit. But so far, my efforts are pretty under control. Alright, that gave us like a 5% hit or something. We're down to 80%. We got a meeting with Kyrgyzstan, and they want to trade too, I'm sure. They would like to purchase grapes. Wow. All of this is just a collection of trade agreements that would generate growth for me, technically. So we produce more grapes than we consume. That's pretty good. We sell at a much lower price than them. They want a meager amount for a meager price. Let's send this over. Okay, this has to be a negotiation then. Let's go down to 1220 and send that over. I feel like they just changed the volume a little bit. I could be going crazy. Let's go to 1560. No, I'm doing this wrong. 1160. What the hell did they just offer me? I don't even know. I think it was like 1050 or something. I'm going to offer 1160. They're offering 1145.83. I will accept that. And the agreement has been signed.
Sure.
Kyrgyzstan, you're one of Russia's friends, yeah? Kyrgyzstan, there you are. Yeah, you're not likely to make anything with me, so you can just leave now. Alright, and once more, the energy sector has updated with the new growth rate, it seems, with the new production rate. I don't know why I said growth rate. My head's stuck in economics. We're going to dismantle, or set to dismantle, the rest of our fossil energy, so we will have no fossil energy as of 4 months in-game from now. So this year we will finally get rid of the fossil energy. Hopefully it has a big effect on our carbon emissions, which are going down without me even taking any of these out of commission yet this episode. We're infiltrating these terrorist groups left and right. And just to show you some stats here, if I look at population, you see after opening my borders completely, we still have a positive immigration rate, just barely. 2,000 persons are entering our country to stay here every year compared to how many are leaving. We are net positive of 2,000. This still could go negative, but if it's slightly negative, slightly positive, doesn't really bother me, because as it stands, we go to our population, even with my complete reductions to encouraging population growth. You see, it is going down, but it's still at 2.37%, way above the world average. The birth rate is still way up at 28.4%, way above the world average. And this is with me promoting contraception. I have no population problems anymore. That bug, if it was a bug, is fixed, and it's looking pretty nice. Nothing really ended up happening with this Israeli market, so clearly I have no idea how new organizations work, and they don't care enough to put a tutorial or a wiki page to explain all the modifiers and things for how they work. So I'm just gonna leave this. I'm just gonna get the fuck out. I don't care about it. That gave me a popularity hit. Go fuck yourself, game. And with that though, we do have a nice full episode. We had a much more eventful episode this time around, getting a lot more done in a lot shorter of a period of time. I'm pretty content with this. We are going to have to continue this work throughout the next episode, So for now, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.